Hey everyone, I'm Tristan, that's Phoebe, and this is Step Back History. Make sure to subscribe and bell notifications because I'm doing live streams and stuff, so you'll always know when crazy stuff's happening here on this channel. So when I found out that the biggest trending topic this weekend was going to be the Super Bowl, I decided to talk about Black Panther, the Marvel superhero movie that's coming out on the 16th. I'm also filming this on February 1st, the beginning of Black History Month, and I thought, Black Panther, Black History Month, there's a good subject in here. I did some research and I found some really great articles. I found one really great article that I'm going to talk about at the end. I'm going to do a discussion about Black Panther, the superhero, Black Panther, the party, and what superheroes and mythology have to say in America when it comes to race. But of course, I need to start by making sure that my biases and positions are perfectly clear. I am, as you can probably tell, a rather white person. I'm not even American. So while I read a lot of black authors while doing this video, I am coming from a white person's perspective. I don't have the experiential point of view to speak to it very well myself. In that way, I am kind of regurgitating a lot of black authors who have way more to say on the topic of race in America than I would. So to begin our story, the Black Panther superhero actually is a little tiny bit older than the Black Panther Party. Both of them trace their origins to the year 1966. The first time the Black Panther superhero showed up was in Fantastic Four number 52, which took place in July, and then in October of that year, the Black Panther Party was founded. Marvel originally actually had some issues with this conflation between the Black Panther superhero and the Black Panther Party, to the point where they actually changed his name for about a year to the Black Leopard. They reintroduced him in Fantastic Four 119 as the Black Leopard, and according to both the fans of Marvel Comics at the time and a 2011 interview with Stan Lee, neither the creators nor the readers liked this name change. After less than a year, it was changed back. However, some authors that I read, and I agree that the conflation with the Black Panther Party actually helps Black Panther rather than hurts him. The Black Panther Party is an organization that argues for self-determination for black people. Their central tenet is the often mischaracterized Black Power. It's a belief in racial dignity, self-determination, self-reliance, an attempt to free themselves both economically and politically from white authority. The Black Panthers focus on have programs for rediscovering and embracing their cultural African heritage. Sometimes it involved some simple things like breakfast programs, but it also involved some very important things like having armed patrols in black neighborhoods to protect them from the police. So let's talk about Black Panther the superhero. Though he was not the first black superhero, he was the first black superhero to debut in a major comic series. And if you think about the things that he upholds and fights for, it's not dissimilar from the Black Panther Party. He is the king of a fictional African kingdom called Wakanda, and often his work is to maintain the success and sovereignty of that kingdom. And the comic has a lot of social commentary about the troubled relationship that Africa has, especially with European powers. For example, one of the major villains in Black Panther is Ulysses Claw. He's an obvious stand-in for European powers who want to exploit the resources and beauty of Wakanda. And no matter how we look at it, superheroes have that kind of connotation. Superheroes are part of our cultural mythology of today. Often there's a lot of biblical allegory. It's part escapism, but also part social commentary. And social commentary has been part of comic books since the very beginning. Creators of Black Panther have sometimes tried to dance around the topic of race, but in doing so, they're creating their own implications. The mythological role that superheroes play within their fictional societies get a little complicated when you talk about things like race, gender, sexuality, disability, things like that. For marginalized people, having a superhero in their identity group has powerful connotations. Superheroes have formidable powers, and their literal job is to fight injustice in the world. Right wrongs, do all those things that superheroes do. And so, for example, for the black superheroes in the Marvel universe, there's connotations about the kinds of powers they have and the things that they do. There's something very symbolic about Luke Cage being bulletproof, Storm being the freer of people in servitude, and Black Panther being an unconquerable African king. The fictional kingdom of Wakanda in Black Panther is portrayed as the most technologically advanced kingdom on Earth. And it speaks to an ongoing artistic movement that was going on in the late 60s and the 70s, and goes on until today, about Afrofuturism, which is a movement that makes the case that African voices, African ingenuity, both has been part of technological development and will be part of the future. So the symbol that these heroes represent make them very powerful, but it also makes writing for them very difficult. They unofficially get charged with representing black people in the superhero genre, but in pop culture in general. And sometimes you just want a black superhero who kicks bad guys' asses without having to deal with bigger issues. I imagine many people would like to just be black and not have to deal with bigger issues. If only society let them do that. The reality is that existing as a black person means politics comes to you in large ways and small ways, millions of times every day. So having a big superhero movie, even though it's ridiculously overdue, starring Black Panther, is kind of awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that this one's gonna get me in trouble, but to be honest, the people who have trouble with this kind of thing, I kind of don't care what your opinion is. I want to give a lot of the credit for this video to the insights of Clarkeisha Kent. She's a writer for a website called The Root, and an article of hers that came out on Tuesday really inspired pretty much all of the positions in this video. As a white person, I'm kind of blinded to the perspectives of how important something like Black Panther will be for black people, and so I didn't want to impose my own weird voice, and I just wanted to use the voice of other people who are actually black talking about this and have an experiential way of talking about it. I'm going to link to her article down in the doobly-doo, and I really recommend you read it because it is way better than anything I could make. So I'm sure you guys have probably heard me say in a video or another that there's a Dungeons & Dragons game that I play in on Dungeon Dwellers, the Twitch channel. Well, I am starting a new show on the same channel where I'm going to be the Dungeon Master. It's going to be running every 2 weeks and premieres on March 12th. You can catch it at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to run until about 11. So if you want to see whatever crazy crap comes out of this noggin to talk about in Dungeons & Dragons, come and show your support. We already have a really great group of players, including Cheryl, the roving naturalist, and Xander, who runs Art Explains. We also have, if you follow the Dungeon Dwellers campaign, the Tales from the Sanguine Isles I'm a player in, it's also going to have Zippy the Warlock and Elric the Warforged Cleric. They're going to be playing different characters, but the same people are going to be there. Of course, as with every YouTube video, I wish that you would like and share, and if you want to see more Step Back videos, please subscribe, because there's lots of awesome stuff coming up, lots of awesome stuff for you to watch already. I hope to see you around soon. Until Thursday, peace out. Yes, that's a Matt Colville reference.